Hello everyone, this is Professor Maloney, and today I'm going to create a video recording demonstrating how to use an inFile and an outFile in a C++ program. This is Chapter 3 related, and if you recall on the overview video, the Chapter 3 overview video recording that I made a day or two ago, I talked a little bit about using inFiles and outFiles in C++, and that in Chapter 3 we're already going to start. So this is a big topic, but it's not going to be a difficult one. So I'm going to create an example, and I want you to follow along with what I'm doing. So I'm going to stop periodically, or at least stop at the end and have you capture, take pictures of the screen. It'll probably take at least 3 screenshots for you to get everything. And I'm also going to ask you to create a .txt file. Okay, any simple text editor. So if you're using a Mac, you can use their version of a simple text editor, meaning a simple notepad type file. All right. Okay, so I'm going to stop showing me, and I'm going to share my screen. Okay, and share. All right. So let's see. I am recording. I am verify here actually that I'm recording. I'm also, my mic is on, my video is off now, which is what I want. All right, so I'm going to go to REPL, and I'm going to create a REPL. Okay, and I'm going to call this thing here Chapter 3 inFile and outFile program example. Okay, create REPL. Oh, sorry, I was on the wrong spot here. Let's see. Control X, name your REPL. Control V. C++ obviously is what I want, and create REPL. Okay, so now this is what I have. All right, so we're going to start obviously and put our code in here, but the first thing I want to do is show you what I want us to put in a text file. Very simple, but basically these are class codes. Okay, so we'll call them column 1, they're class codes. All right, and then the next one I'm doing class names. Okay, class names. After that I'm doing credit hours, and after that costs. And I'm just throwing these out. Obviously these have nothing to do with any costs at MDC. It's just something. So basically 4 records, 3 records, sorry, and each record has 4 fields. One will be class code, one will be class name, one will be credit hours, and one will be class cost. Okay, so let's open up a notepad file. So NOT. Obviously in my case I can just copy that. So since I'm recording it, let's go ahead and let me just do that. So I'm going to control copy that. Okay, and then put this in there. Control V. Oops, sorry. What's going on? Let me minimize that one and then move this one. Now I want to make the font a little bit bigger again so that you guys can see it better. So I'll make it a 20, not 20. Okay, all right, so you have, all you got to do is create what you see typed here, but you need the spacing. So make it the way I've done it, even though I'm not, I'm not grading it, so it won't matter per se. But in other words, use COP 1334, all letters in caps. Then a space bar, and then C++ programming with no spaces, Then the space after that, then the number 4, then a space after that, then 1000.0. Okay? Then enter. On the second line, type CTS 1145, CTS in caps, cloud, then a space, then Cloud Essentials, again with no space in this case. In the names, I'm not using spaces. So Cloud Essentials butted up against each other, like C++ programming was butted up against each other. Then a space and number 4 again, then a space and 1125.0 for this cost. Okay, and then the last record will be CGS 2108, and make the CGS all in caps. After CGS 2108, hit the space bar, and then type advanced desktop with no spaces. Okay, then type a space, hit the space bar, type a 4, hit the space bar, and type 1250. Well, 1250.0. So this is going to be our inFile. Okay, that will be our inFile. Now, let me actually delete my other file, because that otherwise it's going to be there, because I'm going to use this same name because I put that in my little instruction set for myself. So it's going to be ch3_examples. So get rid of that. Sorry, I want to delete that, darn it. All right, so now I'm going to make it file, save as, go into file. Well, so you go wherever you want to go, right? And in here, I want file 2021, but yours doesn't matter. Homestead and COP 1334. And here, I'm just going to call this one here, Chapter 3, Example inFile. So you do it like that, no spaces. So CH3 Example inFile. Okay, and that's what I'm going to now put in my instructions, Chapter 3 Example inFile. Okay, so now we have this created. So I'll minimize it, and that way I have the name. All right, so I'm going to minimize it for now. Now I'm going to, by the way, upload this file. And actually, you know what? I'm going to close that and upload it right away. So in your case, you do the same as me. So you create this, okay? You only have another minute to do it. So open that file, open a notepad file or a text editor type file, and type those 3 class names, okay? Class codes, class names, credit hours, and course cost. Don't put the captions, just type what I've typed. But there's a space after each class code. There's a space after each class name. And remember, there's no spaces in the class name. In none of them is there a space, okay? In none of them is there a space. Then after each of those, type a space or 2, it doesn't matter. And then the number 4 for credit hours, number 4, number 4. You know, if you want to test it with 434 or whatever, that's perfectly fine too. But for all classes I teach are 4 credits, but that doesn't matter. All right. So anyway, I'm using 4. And then another space after each number 4, and type 1000.0 for one, 1125.0 for another, and 1250.0 for another. Do not put commas, do not put dollar signs. Okay, so that's what you are typing. All right, so now I've saved it. So I'm closing mine down. All right, I'm closing it down for a good reason, though, because I'm going to open it back up so you can see it again. But where you create your REPL, okay, so remember, if you make this at REPL, then you have to upload a file if you're going to use a file as a data file. So I'm going to click these 3 dots over here, and I want to upload a file. So I click the 3 dots in REPL. First, I named my REPL file Chapter 3 inFile and outFile. I may have put the word example, but that doesn't matter. You know, just call it whatever you want to call it, but at least call it Chapter 3, right? When you're on your test and you're looking for help, you want to make sure you know where to go for your notes. You can print your pages and stuff, but make sure you have, you know, the help you feel you need. Anyway, so I'm going to now go in here, the 3 dots on the right, sorry, right here, and I want to now upload a file. So I'm going to click that, and in COP 1334, I now want that Chapter 3, whatever I just said. Oh, I'm in the wrong. Let's see, this is fall. It's doing something for my self-assessment, I guess. So in here, and in here, and this is the one I just did. So I'm going to say open that one. And now you see it's right here. Okay, so now I'm going to open it again. And that's what you have to type. You're not typing it in REPL, though. You're typing it in a notepad file. Then you close the notepad file down, and then you upload that file by clicking the 3 dots over here. All right. If you haven't done this yet, you can do it later, because I have to get moving for sure. Remember, this is a recording, so you can start, stop, start, stop, start, stop 100,000 times if you want. All right. So that's there. So I've got 1 field, 2 fields, 3 fields, 4 fields, 4 fields. All right. Okay. Now I'm going to create a program. So now I'm going to go to main.cpp, and here I'm just going to put a comment above that, and I'll say it's a chapter 3 data file example using an inFile and an outFile. inFile means it's a file you're using to be captured by your program, and then the outFile captures what your program does and saves it to another file. So the first file, this one right here, chapter 3 example inFile.txt, is the file that our program is going to use. So we're going to be using these fields, and then we're just going to manipulate them a little bit. We're going to get a grand total of credit hours, a grand total of costs, and we may flip a couple fields around, like maybe we'll start with name rather than course code, just to show that we can manipulate this and then code it in main.cpp, and then we're going to create an output file as part of our program, okay? And the output file will be the results. So, and an out file, all right? The in file will use a .txt file, and the out file will use a .dat, which is called a data file. But say you can also use a .txt as the out file. Okay. We will also be coding. We will also be using iomanip. Okay. And the string preprocessor directives. And let's see, iomanip and the string, and the fstream library, which is also preprocessor directive. So we're going to be using those plus our normal. So the normals pound include iostream. So underneath that, we're going to say a pound include, and this one here will say fstream, and that with the greater than, and put a comment to allow us to use an input file and to create an output file. Okay. Then we're going to say pound include string, okay, to allow us to use strings or string variables. Okay. And then pound include iomanip to allow us to use fixed show point and set precision, specifically with 2 for 2 decimal places. Okay. So this is just for formatting, all right? So we got iostream, we've got file stream, we've got string, and we've got io manipulator, all right? So those we need, and of course we're going to what? Always using namespace standard, okay? All right, so now we're in our int main. We don't need any of the standard colon now because we're using namespace standard. So our first coot statement, we'll just say what we're doing. Okay, so I'll copy this, control copy that, and in this coot here, I'm just going to put that, okay, control V that. So chapter 3 data file, don't need the / now because this is a coot. Example using an inFile and an outFile. The inFile will use a .txt file, and the outFile will use a .dat file. You can also use a .txt as the out file if you prefer. We will also be using iomanip and the string preprocessor directive and the fstream library. Okay, so that brings us down to there. Now we're going to do our usual stuff, but now we're going to say, so step 1, declare variables. In this case, though, we're going to have more variables than just the norm. Okay. First, we're going to use, we will declare variables for the inFile and the outFile. And when I use the term inFile, that's actually what I'm going to call it. You don't have to, but inFile and outFile are good. They work with the F stream, okay? So we're just going to have to use something, though, called an input file stream, we'll call this, okay, which works with the F stream. So I'll put down here that I'm going to have if stream, and I want to call it inFile, okay? And this one is going to be, let's hide this, sorry, let's see, declare variable for inFile, and then I put in parentheses text file, okay? All right, and then I want to OF stream, okay? And my OF stream is going to be outFile, okay? And this one, declare variable for outFile, and this I'm going to say .dat file. It's a data file, but you can use a text file, doesn't matter. So we have those two variables, okay? Now we want to declare normal variables, okay? So let's go ahead and look at our text file again. So I'm calling this first thing, you know, the COP 1334, CTS 1145, and CGS 2108. I call them class codes. I don't know if there's a real term that we use, but for me, I'm just going to say a class code. All right. So right over here in my normal variables, string class code. Okay. And this one will be variable for class code from inFile. Okay. Then I want another string, and I said that would be class name. This is variable for class name from inFile. Okay, and that's this one. I just looked at both in the same time. So class code, and these are the class names. You might say, why, Professor, are we not putting spaces? Well, so to use spaces, I need to do the get line, and I will demonstrate how to create a get line, because get line you might need on the exam, but for sure you need it in one of your programs in chapter 3, one of your programming exercises. But first I'm going to demonstrate it this way, and then I'll probably just post a little example of, it may even be the same program, but then using get line with C input statements, meaning instead of quote unquote hard coding. Because remember, with these things here, I'm hard coding, but I'm doing it on purpose because I want to show you how to use a text file. I might also then recreate and use the same information like these three, but then instead have C input files, the CIN in other words, to allow the user to provide the class name, the class code, the class name, how many credit hours it is, and how much it costs. And again, all this is just pretend, right? Especially the cost. Credit hours are true. These are true, except there'd be spaces, and this would be true as well. Okay. All right. So we have those, and then the next one. Sorry, I didn't look at the names again. So okay. So class name I got. This is credit hours, and then class cost. So credit hours. My next one. Int credit hours. Variable for credit hours for a class. Whichever class the user, for a class. Whichever class the user is entering at the time, and then double, I think I called it class cost, doesn't really matter. Oh, I don't have it over here, so I'll just say class cost. Right? Class cost, say course cost. Course cost, okay? And this variable for course cost from inFile as well. The other one's really also from inFile. So let me actually say from inFile. And it's just to remind you guys that this is getting something from an inFile. So now we have a class code, we have a class name, we have a credit hours, we also have a course cost. If you remember on what I don't remember if I already showed it to you, I don't think I showed it to you, but I said I'm going to want a total for credit hours and a total for course cost. So I'm going to declare two more, okay, variables. So I'll say another int, and this will be total credit hours. Okay. So this is variable for total credit hours user is taking. Okay, even though in this case we're not letting them decide, but anyway. And then I need a double, a double for course cost, but I want a double for total cost. Okay, oops, cost. And this is variable for total cost of all classes taken. Okay, so now we have that much down here. So that's all good. All right. Now I want to go to officially, it's not assigning, but this is a little bit different because it's a data file. So I'm going to put a little space here and say this thing here for a comment. I need to open the inFile, okay, and create the outFile. Okay. So remember, our inFile is actually ifstream. In other words, it's an input file stream, and the outFile is going to be an output file, meaning an outFile stream, but I want to name them this. So this is my the one on the inbound side. So it's ch3 example inFile. And remember, I need to capitalize the E, capitalize the I in and capitalize the F in file. And I need to put .txt because it is in fact a text file. Okay. So here I'm going to go ahead and first, I've already got my variables. If you remember, ifstream is inFile. So now I'm going to open, and when you have the variable, that's what you're going to use it. So now it's inFile, okay, inFile, click on it or just type it right, okay, .open, okay, when you use dot, that means dot notation in the programming world. So we're opening, and now this has to be a file name, so therefore it is a string. So it's ch3, remember you can hover here if you need to, example inFile, so example inFile.txt. Now if this file wasn't right here, let's say it was on my desktop, I could put a file path here, as long as it's a complete file path, and that would also work. So inFile.open, open parenthesis, double quotes, ch3. Oh, I didn't do my underscore. Wait, I didn't have it on this one, right? I know the original, I had it. Where is it? Okay, yeah, no underscore. Okay, so that is that. So there, and then of course we need to put our colon. So that is now going to open. And then we have the out file. See up here, out file. So we got to use this one too. In this case, you always say you open it, but it automatically knows on an out file. If you don't have it, then you need to create it with that same statement. So the outFile.open, and now basically I'm just going to change that up a little bit, and I'm going to call this one ch3 example outFile. So see what I called it here? ch3 example inFile. Here I called it ch3 example outFile. And instead of using a text file, I'm doing a dat file, which is a data file, just to let you know you can do either or, okay? Because some people do use data files. A data file is a text file, but it's just letting you know that you have that choice, all right? So, and if you want to later, you can just, or if you remind me, well, you won't remind me, it's video. Maybe at the end, if I remember, after it creates this chapter 3 example outFile.dat, I'll do it again where I have it saved as chapter 3 example outFile.txt, if I remember. All right. Okay, so we have that. Now, we are going to be using what we call iomanip on this thing too. So I'm going to go ahead and start something on my outFile, because my outFile is where I want to use formatting. And remember, iomanip right here allows us to do formatting, okay? Formatting on our output. So I'm going to say, use iomanip to set field properties. I'm not going to do much with it, but I may do another example later with different stuff, but for chapter 3 though. But it'll definitely do it. So now remember, I have to create everything based on my variable name. So for my output file stream, it's outFile. Okay, so I'm going to type outFile here. All right, and then outFile is the old-fashioned coot, meaning it's being displayed on the output screen, or in this case, we're sending it out to a .dat file. So that means we use like we use with cout, right? So outFile in this case means we want less than, not greater than, all right? So 1 is fixed. Now fixed allows us to use fixed decimal places, all right? So we get to use it, but you don't type anything in it. That just means that we're going to be using, and it comes from the IO manipulator right up here. The pound include for iomanip, that preprocessor directive, aka header file, aka library, right? So you need that one. You also, well, technically we don't need show point, but show point allows us to have like trailing zeros and trailing decimal places work as well, meaning they're before, but they would still show up. And this one is not even technically in the iomanip. This one comes from the IO stream. Okay, show point comes from IO stream, but we're not doing anything with it. But it is normal to have your fixed, your show point, and your set precision together. Now, set precision is the one that's really doing the work. And what I'm going to do is set precision up for 2 decimal places. And that's what, so fixed allows us to use decimal places. Show point would allow us to have trailing zeros, meaning things that are before numbers if need be. Like sometimes you might have, as an example, 0.031, just as a number. With show point, the 0.0, that's a trailing zero. That does work, okay? But the biggest thing here is fixed allows us to use fixed number of decimals, and set precision here is 2, means it'll show 2 decimal places. If I wanted to, I could have made it 4. I could have made it 6. I could have made it 12, whatever numbers, but I don't want to get crazy. But 2 is the norm, right? Okay, so 2. So let me start here, the set field properties. Fixed, I'm going to type it small. Oops. Fixed allows fixed decimal places to be used. Show point allows trailing zeros and decimal places, and set precision to shows 2 decimal places, 2 fixed decimal places, 2 fixed, to remind us that fixed is here as well, okay? 2 fixed decimal places. Okay, so we have that, all right? So then after that outFile, we have that as a comment, and we're all A-OK. And now I want to go ahead and look at my values. So here now I have to start doing things with my inFile. So I've opened my inFile, okay? I've created my outFile, but thus far all I've put on it is I want to show anything that involves numbers, which obviously that's going to be the credit hours and the total cost. Then if I need to do, or if I want to show decimal places, which I won't want to on the ints, but on the doubles I do want to, okay? So my double course cost and my double total cost, those I'm going to demand, if you will, make the program via set precision 2. See, it's already in place here. So that means anytime I refer to double total cost or double course cost, and if I'm showing it in the outFile, it's automatically going to inherit this thing from line 25, which means add 2 decimal places if they're not already there, okay? So that is the outFile stuff. Now let's go back here and put, now that we want to assign, well really, let's see, read first inFile record. Remember, there are 3 records. This is record 1, this is record 2, and this is record 3. Okay, so I have 3 records. So the first file record, which is the one that has this class, COP 1334, C++ programming, 4 credits, and I'm just saying $1,000. Okay, that's that. All right. So now I use the other in. Remember up here, I used outFile right here, and I said I used less than with the outFile. On the inFile, I'm going to use greater than, because that's like using a C input statement. All right. So here, I'm now going to say inFile. So inFile, and after my inFile, I have to do greater than, like I'm doing it for a C input. Okay. And I want to take class code. That's one thing I want to take. Okay. I also want to take class name. Okay. That's another thing I want to take. And I might also want to throw, it doesn't matter really where I put them, but I'll either do the same stuff there, or I'll go down a line and do others. So I could go down again and say now inFile, I still want more, greater than, and I need, so I have class code, class name, class code. Oh, I want to actually start, I said I might change it up to show you. So I'm going to make this class name. And then I'll put class code second, just to show that you can manipulate the incoming file and then turn it into an out file with slightly different information or whatever. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so now down here, the next one is number credits. I call it credit hours. So I got to look at my variables now, and course costs. So let's go up here. So credit hours is what I called the int. So here, credit hours. Okay. And then the other one I called course cost. I don't want my total credit hours, and I don't want my total cost. I'm going to do them at the end. So this one, though, I do want course cost. Course cost. Okay. So that's what I have there for my inFile. Now, what it means is when you are reading this incoming file, this will be the very first code mentioned. Remember, all the codes, all the variables are up here. I want this thing here for class name. All right. Oh, sorry again. That's class name, right? So I want class name. So what it's going to do is look at this this information here. So based on how I have my order, all right. So this is my inFile actually. So this actually is class code. Sorry about that. Class code, because it has to come in the order we see them. Otherwise, we have to do a lot more code to change it up. So let me look at it again. I'm calling this class code. I'm calling this class name. I'm calling this credit hours. I'm calling this course cost. So code, class name, credit hours, and cost. So class code, class name, credit hours, course cost. That's what I want, okay? All right, so then after that thing there, for that, I have to take, so once I get the credit hours and once I get the class cost, I want to add things to it. So down here, I'm going to say total, okay? And that's this one, credit hours. So total credit hours plus equal credit hours, okay? So enter. Let me put a note here. So what this means is add credit hours to total credit hours, okay? So that's what that is saying. Okay. All right, now total credit hours plus equal credit hours, that is good. And then I want to also do my total cost because that's coming up here as well. So then total cost, that's the last variable, total cost, and I can say plus equal, and before that is course cost, okay? Same thing. So here I can put add course cost to total cost, okay? All right, so now we have total cost there. So we've accounted for reading the file, the first record that is. We've accounted for adding the credit hours to the total credit hours. We've accounted for adding the course cost to the total cost. And now I got to create my outFile record. So now create outFile record. And in this one, just to let us know, I haven't put it yet, it's right here. This is what I'm going to call it. Chapter 3 example outFile.dat. So I'm going to copy that, control copy that, okay? I'll say named, and then just type that in, all right? So I'm creating outFile record named Chapter 3 example outFile.dat, all right? So the first thing I want to do is now, you see how on the inFile, this thing, there's no captions. But I want to basically put class name, and then this will come under it. Then I want to put class code, and these will come under it. Then I want to put credit hours, and these would come under it. And then I want to put course cost, and that would come under it. So the only change is I want to make the name first, okay? So over here, so that's what I'm doing down here. I'm creating my outFile, but I said I want to put some captions in play, all right? So I have to say outFile, and remember with outFile, it's less than. It's going to be the opposite of inFile. So as long as inFile is right with greater than, and that's like C input, so it is, then our outFile is like COOT statements, but instead of going to the screen here, we're going to send them to a data or text file. All right, so outFile, and then I'm going to have to play games to sort of set these up in terms of where I want them, because I'm not going to be using another good property of iomanip, actually a great property called setWidth, because the name is going to be so much bigger or longer than, like as an example, credit hours or course cost or even the course code, that it'll be a little bit harder to do it with column widths, or I'll just be wasting a lot of space. So I'm just going to make my first little caption name, and my first little caption name is going to be the class name. I just want to make it where it makes sense. So instead of maybe typing class name, I'll type class as an example. And something like that. I'm not sure how that's going to work. We're going to see, and then I might make some changes, okay? So then after the class, I'm just going to put the code. Instead of course code, I'll just say code, because this code is only 7 characters long or 6 characters long. So I'll just do it like that. And then less than again. And now for my credit hours, I'm just going to type credits. Credits works, right? So credits, okay? And that, and then for course cost, I'll just say cost. See that, like that. All right, so I've created that outFile naming convention, and then I'm going to say that and L. Okay, so let's see. So it's going to say class, it's going to say code, it's going to say credits. Oh, well, cost. I want cost to have a $sign. But there I don't need it. So remind me when I do this, I'm going to need a anyway, I'll see. But that'll work. So that is my start of my outFile. All right. So now I need to assign these values. So I need another outFile. So let me do another comment. Now assign first class record to my outFile. And you remember the outFile is chapter 3 example outFile.dat. To, let's just say this again, copy that, control copy, and I don't need to say my to, I'll just say to. So delete that and then paste. All right. Okay, so outFile again. Okay, so outFile less than, and in this case though, I want to put class name first. All right, so I'm just going to say class name. Now here you don't put quotes, because this has to be the same as up here. See, class name. Okay, so class name is what I want to be the first outFile, and then I just have to figure out where I'm going to go after that. So when I type a class name, I want a space, so I want to go less than, double quote, space, double quote, just to add one space. And if I wanted, I could add 2. It doesn't really matter, right? So I'll just do it that way then now. So 2, and then less than, and then I need my class code, right? If it doesn't come up as a valid variable, you won't see it underneath, so that's fine, okay? And then less than, and then a double space, maybe another space again. Is that 1 or 2? That's 1. Is it over here? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then less than after class code. So I've changed it a little bit, remember? So now up here on the inFile it's class code, then class name, but it's now going to be class name, then class code, then I need credit hours. So credit hours, okay, then less than, and okay, so now this is the out file. Before class code, I want a $sign. So I'm going to do this dollar, because I just want this to butt up to class cost. So like that with no space, and then it's a class cost or course cost? Course cost. Okay, and then after my course cost and that L. Okay. Now, when I do my next one, by the way, I won't be using outFile again because I just want that as the caption once. But to do my next assigning, like assign second class record, this will just be copy, paste in. It'll be the same stuff, okay? But for now, I at least have my first record, okay? I have my captions, or I hope I have my first record and my first captions. So now I want to go ahead and do the inFile stuff again. So to get my, this is reading first inFile. So now I want to read the second inFile, okay? And actually, you know what? I think I want all of this. And maybe I can even do maybe I can just do it like this. If not, I'll change it. But control copy all that. And it starts with saying read first. So I'm going to leave a space and then control V that in. And now say read second inFile record. So class code, class name, credit hours, course cost, that makes sense. Add credit hours to total credit hours. I'm reading the second file now, which means, not second file, sorry, this, CTS 1145. That's what I'm reading now, or it should be reading now. So, where am I? Where am I? Yeah, second file. So I've got the same 4 fields, and then I'm adding credit hours to it because the credit hours could be different. But now this thing already should have 4 from the first record, and now it gets another 4. So that at the end of this, once it passes this line of code, then this should be 8. Course cost, we should already have the first one that was assigned over, and now we're adding the second one over. And now creating the second outFile record. So second outFile record. Oh, wait. No. That was creating that file record. I don't need this line, and I don't need that anymore because we already have this. So get rid of that. Okay. So now I want to assign second class record to that, and that's the same way. Okay, so yeah, so that's good. And now after that, I should be able to do it to the third the same way. So take the same second this time. I guess it's still in my memory, I forget now, but I'll control copy that, and then I'll enter a blank line again, control V that, and this is the third record, so third inFile record. Okay, so again, it's got the same values, and then I'm adding the third credit hours total to the total credit hours. I'm adding the third cost to the total cost, and on the out file, I've got class name, class code again, credit hours, and that. So that is good. So I should now have my 3 records. Okay, so my first inFile record, my second inFile record, my third inFile record, and then at the very end, though, I want to capture my total cost. Okay, so I want to capture my total cost. So I got total cost and I got total credit hours, so that's fine. So now I need to create, let's see, create an outFile record for total credit hours and another outFile record for total course costs. Okay, so something like that. So I'll say outFile again, outFile, and here I want to make sure that I capture my dollar costs, right? So with my dollar cost, I have to put that in. So, you know, normally if it's a big file, you do something silly, like you might say Tell the user that file is being processed. Okay, so just have an outFile, a silly outFile, less than, file is being processed. Okay, dot. Then, and one more. Actually, sorry, this is not going to go to the file. We want this just to be a coot statement. So coot statement. Then copy that one again. Copy that one. Control copy. Control B. So now the file has finished processing. The file has been processed. And this one, exclamation. All right. So that. Now, though, I do need to put the answers for the final stuff. So outFile, this is where we're actually going to now put the totals. So outFile, and I have total credit hours being taken. So the total credit hours are, okay, something like that, less than, total the credit hours, that total credit hours, okay? Then I can do a little indel on that, okay? And then copy this for costs. So copy, control copy, control Victor, total course, the total cost of all classes is, and then total cost. So total cost. Okay, so that, and let's see, then when we do a return 0, that, let's delete a space, let's see what happens. Okay, so we have our inFile here. Oh, by the way, so let me put that in the comment too. File's been processed. To see the results, click the chapter 3 example outFile.dat. Copy. Click the chapter 3 outFile.dat in the left navigation menu, meaning it's going to be right here once it's created. So you have to look over here. So I'm just saying, maybe I should say look for, no, I'll just say click it, okay? Because there will be another file here. All right, so let's run it. Let's see. All right, so chapter 3 file example using an inFile and an outFile. The inFile will use a .txt file, and the outFile will use a .dat file. Oh yeah, I said I'd also do another one. See right here, by the way, you see there's another file, and as I hover, chapter 3 example outFile.dat. This one again is the chapter 3 example inFile. So this file here was used to create this file, but I want to read this thing first. So let's see if I did it what I wanted. All that, the file is being processed. The file has been processed. To see the results, click this file. So now I'm going to click this file, and okay, look at that. That's butting up. So we got a problem here. I got to fix that. But let's see. The total cost: 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 3,200, 3,300, 3,375. That's correct. Oh, but I want a $sign. And you notice it's got 2 decimal places. All these have 2 decimal places because of this line of code at the very beginning, where I told you I was going to put my, in the very beginning of the outFile right here, line 25, fixed, show point, set precision. So anything after that line of code, after line 25, when I talk course cost, not on the inFile, but on the outFile, if I create course costs or credits, and no, not credits because that's integer. Sorry, course costs. So like right here, no, it's inFile. Course cost right here. Okay. Now I have a dollar sign next to it, so let me look at the results again. Okay, I have them up there. Well, first let's take care of this stuff first. So I need a space after the 4, and this is in my outFile, space after 4. So space after, oh wait, what do you mean 4? Idiot. I don't know what I meant. Where the heck? Oh, after credits. Okay, so after credit hours. After credit hours. So credit hours on an outFile, my first outFile. So here's an outFile where it's created. That's my first out point. No, it's just setting up my precision. Here's my first outFile. So after credits, okay, what I want to do basically is put a dollar sign here. Because see, these are spaces, right? It's double quotes, meaning this is just like a coot statement. It's just adding whatever. So as long as this dollar sign is exactly butted up against that double quote, then the cost. Oh wait, no, not there. That's the no. That's the this is the headings file. I want the first out file. Here's where no. So it's there. But I said after credit hours, I need a space. Yeah, there's no space here. Okay, so I'll do it this way, there. Okay, so now there's a space after the first record. So now the second out file. So what did I say I did? I did a space before the dollar. So that now will mean credit hours for space, then dollar sign, and then it butts up against course cost. So that's fine. Same with the third out file. Same. Okay, I want to fix them one at a time. So let's see. All right, so here, chapter 3 example, you see now there's a gap. I mean a space after 4. All right, that's good. The total credit hours are 12. 4, 8, and 4 is 12, so that's correct. Now the total cost should have a dollar sign. So this is the total cost without a dollar sign. Total cost of all classes. That was the last line of code. Okay, so here I want to put a dollar sign again. Okay, dollar sign, and that'll butt up against total cost. Okay, so again, once it's processed, see the input doesn't change. That's your input file, but the out file, anything you modify changes. See, now it's got $3375.00. Just to show you, and I don't want this to go on, it's already been on too long, but I'm just going to change the output to 3 numbers. Actually, I'll change it to 4. Okay, so I got to go up to that, I think it was line 25 we said, yep. Set precision 4. Okay, now watch what happens when I run it. So again, I got to go to the out file. See, 1000.0000, 1125.0000, 1250.0000. Total credit hours don't change. What in the gall darn happened there, though? Holy crap, I got to think of that. And then 33.75, whatever. Okay, so let me, holy crap, I don't know what that is. But you see that it adds that. So now I want to just take them away to see if it fixes it. Otherwise, I may have clicked something that I didn't intend to click. So line 25, we say. Change this to 2 and run again and go back again. Total credit hours are messed up. All right, but so that's right. But now I got to look at the total credit hours. Whoa, man, they are messed up. Okay, total credit hours. Let's see. Total credit hours plus equal credit hours. So what this line of code does, this is the first file. So total credit hours was 0. Really, I should probably say it's 0. So total credit hours equals 0. Equals 0. Let me start int credit hours equals 0 too. Equals 0. I'll start these as 0 as well. Equals 0. And total cost equals 0. The reason I can put this, by the way, guys, is because once it runs the first time, then something's added to it, okay? But it shouldn't have done anything here. I know I checked it, it worked. Anyway, so that's okay. I mean, meaning just a few minutes ago, and it worked. So that. So I'm looking for credit hours. So here's the first credit hours. This is reading first record. So credit hours is 0, okay? So it's 0, but now it's capturing credit hours, and that's verified. Yeah, over here it's 4. Because here we have 1 column, 2 columns, 3 columns, 4 columns, and there's a gap. So it does stop after that, after the 4 in each case. So that should be fine. Okay, so after it goes through that first record, 4 is credit hours, and it's moved over to total credit hours. So remember that. So this is now 4. Okay, now we're doing the second inFile record. So the second inFile takes 4 again. Okay, so the 4 here gets added to the 4 over here is now 8. When I say plus equal, this is the same thing as saying total credit hours equals total credit hours plus credit hours. Okay, plus equal, in other words, just eliminates a little bit of typing. This is better, but for sure it works. So now 8 should be here. Okay, so now the third record. This should be 4 again from this one. And now 4 should be added to 8. And again, this is like total credit hours equals total credit hours plus credit hours. So 4 goes to 8 is 12. Now let's look down here and see if I change anything that I don't remember. Then cost, same way. Credit hours. Oh, this is on the outFile for the, so this is where the credit hours is being added. Sorry, so the outFile obviously, but that's fine. And I didn't change anything else. To me, that should be right. All right, so let's go here. Okay, anyway, so I just fixed it, if you will, by assigning the values as 0 up here initially. I assigned every value as 0 initially. And then the first record added 4 to total credit hours. Second record added another 4. Third added another 4. So 4, 8, and 12. On cost, the first one then gets added to the second. So that's 21.25. 21.25 gets added to this one. So 31.25. 31 and 2 is 33.25. 33.25 and 50 is 33.75. All right, so I'm going to end this, but I want you guys to take pictures. So before this ends, I'm going to move this over. Okay. And, oh, wait, not that one, silly. All right, first of all, actually, take a picture of this. This shows you that this is the Chapter 3 example outFile.dat. Okay, so take a picture. I'm going to wait 30 seconds. I'm going to assume you have your phone out by then. So this is what the Chapter 3 example outFile.dat is. Okay, after the coding in main.cpp and the input records processing of Chapter 3 example inFile.txt. Okay, once those two things come into play and do what they do, then I coded the program to create an outFile, but I put headings on it. Okay, and then I put the class name first. Remember, class name in this one is not first, it's actually class code, then class name, then credit hours, then cost. But here I wanted to flip it to show you that we can do stuff like that. So I put class name first, but the class name is for the right code. This class name is for the right code. This class name is for the right code. All right. Okay. So for sure you should have done that by now. And then this is your inFile. So Chapter 3 example inFile. So take a picture of that. Even if you already have one, take that picture. This is the file. You need to create your text file and upload it. Okay. Via this. Click here, and you then choose Upload File, and you look for this ch3 example inFile.txt file. Okay, so you do this, and then you browse looking for this. Okay, and once you put it there, it will be right here, and this one gets created right here. Just looking for the first outFile. Right here, line 23, outFile.open means if it's here, it'll open it. It wasn't here. Otherwise, it doesn't tell you, but it automatically creates it if it wasn't there. So that's when it gets put here, right when we hit step 23. But you don't notice it because we're running the program to add things to this file. All right. Okay. And let me show you one more time the iomanip. So outFile is just what we're wanting to apply the iomanip fixed, the iomanip show point, and the iomanip set precision 4. And you saw how this 2, when I changed it to a 4, all the output with the dollar ones, the total cost and the course cost, each of those, not the credit hour, sorry, this one and this one displayed 2 decimal places. And then I changed it to 4, and they all showed 4 decimal places. And then I went back in to put the equal zeros here because something happened to my credit hours. where the total went into the tens of thousands or something. But anyway, so that is that. So I hope you have a great day. Remember, you can start. Oh, wait, sorry, I still got to show you all the code. All right, so you copied that and that, but now the main.cpp. Now this one I'm going to move over to make it bigger so we don't waste as much. You don't have to, whatever. All right, so now go up here, take a picture from line 1 to line 18. Again, you have 30 seconds to do so. Okay. Obviously, you remember everything that's in gray, like gray disabled looking or whatever, that's comments. Okay. All right, 10 more seconds. And then I'm going to go to line 19. Okay, so that's that. So now let's go to line 19. Let's see, line 19. Okay, so line 19 down to line 41. Let me see if I can just here. Okay, all right, so that's line 19 to line 41. Again, lots of comments. Okay, read the comments. Comments are so important. Okay, 20 more seconds for a picture of this one. So line 19 to line 41. Well, there may be still 2 more. I guess there was just so many comments. And I did put some spaces on purpose, which are taking up some time or some room. Anyway, all right, so I'm going to now go down to line 42. If you didn't get that, you can go ahead, remember, and rewind the tape to wherever you need to. Right? Okay, this one I can move up just to here and get that some more space. Okay, so 42 to 64 is the end. All right, so the last picture. So take that picture. All right, 10 seconds, 9 seconds, 8 seconds, 7 seconds, 6 seconds, 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. The program has been processed. It's over. All right, have a great day. Bye. Oh, wait, now here, stop my recording.